Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something really fundamental: perspective memory. Basically, remembering to remember things for the future.
Exactly. It's not remembering what happened last week. That's retrospective. This is all about remembering to do something later on.
Like remembering to mail that letter that's been sitting on the counter.
Precisely. And you shared some great sources on this. Our mission today is sort of peeling back the layers, understanding how it works, why it matters so much day to day, and maybe how to get a bit better at it.
Okay, sounds good. Let's start with the basics. I gather there are different types of this perspective memory.
That's right. The main distinction researchers make is between event-based and time-based.
Event-based and time-based. Okay,
Yeah, so event-based is triggered by, well, an event or cue. Like when you see Sarah, tell her I called. Seeing Sarah is the cue.
got it.
Time-based is linked to a specific time. Take your pill at 8 a.m. The clock hitting 8 a.m. is the trigger.
That makes sense. So event-based is like seeing an email notification and remembering, oh yeah, I need to reply to that one.
Exactly, whereas remembering your dentist appointment at 2 p.m. next Tuesday, that's purely time-based. And interestingly, studies often show we're generally a bit better with the event-based ones. The cue helps jog the memory.
Yeah, I could see that. The time-based ones feel like they require more, I don't know, internal monitoring.
They do. You have to keep track of the time yourself. And it's amazing how much of our daily lives depend on both these types, isn't it?
Totally. Taking meds, like you said,
Right.
appointments, bringing lunch to work, paying bills on time.
Remembering birthdays, grabbing your keys before leaving the house.
Right. You almost take it for granted until you forget something important.
Mm-hmm. We're constantly juggling these little future intentions.
So what's actually going on upstairs when we, like, set that intention to grab the keys later?
Well, it's sort of a multi-stage process, really. First, you form the intention, I need my keys. Then you have to hold on to that intention over a delay while you're doing other things.
Okay, maintain it somehow.
Right. And finally, you need to retrieve that intention and act on it at the appropriate moment, like when you're actually walking towards the door. It's like setting a little mental alarm.
A mental alarm, I like that. So what helps that alarm go off successfully, and what makes it fail?
Well, having a really clear, specific intention helps a lot. I will grab my keys when I put my coat on. That's better than just vaguely thinking keys.
Be specific. Makes sense.
Distinct cues are also key. If the cue is too common or blends into the background, you might miss it. And routines. Regular habits really anchor these memories.
Ah, like always putting your keys in the same spot.
Exactly. That reduces the mental effort. Now, things that hinder it, distractions are a huge one. If you get interrupted right after forming the intention,
Poof, it's gone. Yeah.
stress is another big factor. It really impacts our cognitive resources. And sometimes if you have multiple similar intentions, like remembering to take 3 different pills at different times, your brain can, get wires crossed.
Yeah. I've definitely had that walked into a room and forgot why moment. Is this something that tends to decline as we get older?
Research does suggest that, yeah, prospective memory performance can become less efficient with age. It seems to be a pretty normal part of cognitive aging.
Okay.
But it's not necessarily a dramatic drop for everyone. And importantly, using strategies can really help compensate. It's not like it just disappears.
Speaking of strategies, technology. My phone calendar is my external brain. Reminders, alarms. They seem like obvious aids.
Absolutely. Technology can be fantastic for offloading that memory burden. Setting digital reminders, using to-do list apps, they work.
I feel like there's a but coming.
Well, yeah, there's some discussion about whether over-reliance might maybe weaken our own internal memory muscles, so to speak. And also, notification fatigue is real.
Oh yeah, if you get too many alerts, you just start swiping them away without thinking.
Exactly. So it's a tool, but maybe not a perfect substitute for developing good internal habits, too.
This all feels connected to, like, bigger picture stuff. Planning, staying organized.
Precisely. Perspective memory is deeply intertwined with what we call executive functions. Those are the higher level cognitive skills planning, task management, self-monitoring. You need those functions to set the intention, monitor for the cue or time, and execute the action.
So it's part of being effectively goal-directed.
Very much so. It's how plans actually get translated into future actions.
And in some situations, this isn't just about convenience. It's like life or death critical.
Absolutely. Think about airline pilots running through their pre-flight checklists. Every single item is a prospective memory task. Remember to check this. Remember to flip that switch.
Can't afford to miss one.
No. Or surgeons in an operating theater, remembering every step of a procedure in the right order, anticipating the next instrument needed. The consequences of forgetting are obviously enormous.
It really highlights the importance. And your sources mentioned a link to psychological well-being, too.
Yes. Generally speaking, some research links difficulties in perspective memory to certain psychological conditions. It just underscores how vital this function is for navigating everyday life smoothly and effectively.
So wrapping up, it seems this knack for remembering our future intentions is incredibly complex, really vital, and influenced by a whole lot of things.
Definitely. It's fundamental to how we function, how we bridge that gap between deciding to do something and actually doing it.
Understanding it feels like it gives you a bit more control, or at least
So
awareness.
awareness is a great first step for sure.
Well, this has been a really insightful deep dive, and maybe a final thought for you listening. Consider the future intentions you're holding right now. Things you need to do later today, maybe tomorrow. Based on what we've talked about, is there one small thing, one strategy you could try to make sure that intention actually happens? Something to ponder. Thanks for joining us.